Hi guys, Alex Taylor down here at Lytham Golf Academy, and today we're going to talk about how to hit your 3-wood perfectly from the tee and from the floor. So when I get guys down, particularly for coaching, a lot of guys use 3-wood off the tee, but really struggle with it off the floor. Part of that I think can be down to them not having the right loft. So even though I've said 3-wood, this is a 3/8L, so the new Taylormade 3/8L. So it's a 4-wood at 16.5 degrees. But I know for me this has got enough loft on the floor that if I deliver the club how I need to strike it, I'll still get enough flight on it that the ball will go the distance it should for my longest wood off the floor. But we're going to talk through off a tee first, and then what we're going to do differently to hit it well off the floor. Hopefully so you guys are nice and clear in your heads as to what you're trying to do, and you don't end up kind of getting stuck in the middle and doing neither on either of the shots. So when we've got 3-wood up on the tee, for me the reason guys are doing 3-wood off the tee is they're either struggling with driver, so they feel that the 3-wood is going to give them more accuracy, or for the length of the hole, the 3-wood is the better option. But we're looking to hit a 3-wood off the tee in very much the same fashion that we would hit driver. So we're going to tee the ball up so that there's half the ball, at least half the ball above the club head. The ball position is going to be slightly forward and maybe a little bit more forward than we would have it off the floor. And once I get into my address position, even though my left shoulder would be slightly higher than my right anyway, I'm actually going to look for a little bit more tilt of my spine away from the target. And the idea being that if I'm going to launch the ball high with low spin, which I'm still looking for with fairway wood, the club's going to need to be bottom of the swing back behind the ball so that the club's travelling up into impact and ideally moving a little bit to the right through impact. So it's going to launch the ball high, keep the spin down. Now, I've done a video on this for driver anyway, so you could always go and watch that as a bit of an extra. But like we said, ball position maybe slightly further forward, a little bit more spine tilt away from the target, and then really try and pick it off that tee. Well, that's launched nice and high, very flat. Me personally, I've never dropped down to 3-wood just for accuracy, because I feel that I can make the swing I need with driver. But I completely get that if you get there and you've been struggling a bit with driver and the shorter shaft feels a little bit more comfortable with 3-wood, get yourself set, a little bit of spine tilt. And again, that'd work. Little draw for me. Tend to find with that a little bit more loft for me, get that little draw back. But I don't think being able to hit 3-wood off the tee well is the be all and end all, because I'm a massive believer that if you get fitted properly for driver, you put a bad swing on it, you put a bad swing on it, whether it's driver, 3-wood, 4-iron off the tee. For me, 3-wood or whatever your straightest face fairway wood, it needs to be really good off the floor. And if you can't hit it off the floor, it kind of defeats the object of it being called a fairway wood. So the big issue I see with most guys with fairway woods though is, first of all, they've not got enough loft on them. So that's where you need to get fitted, test the product, see what works for you guys. But also the concept of what guys try to do through impact. I still think that when the ball's there, guys have still got the ball position too far forward, got the club travelling up by the time it gets to the ball, and it just means that at best they hit it really low off the face. Worst case, they kind of top it, and there's no consistency there with 3-wood, 4-wood or 5-wood, whichever it is. So we need to make a couple of little adjustments and understand what we're doing differently on the floor than we did on the tee. So we still want the ball forward of centre, but not quite as near that front foot as we were on the tee shot. The hands that are now going to feel that they sit a little bit more in front of the golf ball, not consciously, but because the hands are going to be inside the left thigh or the front thigh. As that ball position is a little further back, we can see the hands sit a little bit more in front. As that ball position moves forward, the hands obviously sit a little bit more in line. but we're looking to promote a bit more of a downward strike with the fairway wood when the ball's on the floor. We're not hitting down too much, which is why that ball position wouldn't be in the centre. But as long as we feel that the club's fairly shallow through the bottom, but is actually moving down through impact, it means we can start hitting the ball out the middle of the club face. As soon as you hit it out the middle or slightly above centre, that's where we're going to have our correct loft or most loft on the club. That's going to promote getting the ball in the air. It's also going to help us get more distance, because obviously the better you strike the ball, the more energy is transferred from club head to golf ball. So we're going to try ball slightly further back than it would have been for the tee shot. I'm not going to worry about tilting my spine, because again that promoted hitting up, whereas I want to feel more down. And I actually think not a bad feeling for most guys is if you just feel that you're going to take a little bit of a divot. Now obviously I won't be able to take a divot on the range, but that's really good. Strong flight. Tough for me, because like I said, if I get into 3-wood, I do find it difficult. Don't get enough height with a 15-degree fairway wood, but 16.5, 17 for me is great. I can get the ball there. I can feel that it's got enough loft then that I can still hit down. That just goes miles. Not quite as far as some of the boys are hitting M2, but big thing for me is I honestly believe most guys need to work more on their fairway woods hitting the ball from the floor, because that's what it's designed for. If for some reason you struggle with driver, or you're not fitted with driver, which I don't understand that concept nowadays. If you're buying a new club, why wouldn't you get fitted? But I do understand why guys drop down to fairway wood off the tee, but I would still want you hitting driver wherever you can. And you're only picking fairway wood or iron because the distance of the hole or a dog leg means that driver would be too much. But if you can work on those little changes, whether the ball's up on the tee or on the floor, you're going to find that you've got that ability to play this club from both areas, making it much more versatile. And from that, hopefully you're going to hit more shots, good shots, and get that score down this year. Okay guys, as ever, thank you for taking the time to watch my videos. I do really appreciate it. Follow me on all the social media platforms. Subscribe to my channel if you don't already. Please comment on the video, let me know if it's helped. I do these videos for you guys to help your game. Hopefully catch up with some of you guys down here in the future. Stay in contact.